Okay. Carmen says, I just ran around YouTube and everyone is having issues. Ugh, no. Don't tell me that. I'm gonna be really upset if it's still not working. It's a good thing that I didn't get really far into this. You're gonna have to tell me if it's breaking up again. I'm gonna mute myself for a minute. Is it any better? By chance? Please say it's better. If it's still crackling, I don't know. Okay, what should we talk about? I don't want to have to start all the way back over again, and so I'm just going to replay what we were just talking about. It only goes on for um it only goes on for just a little while, like 10 minutes or something. And then cuz I went back and I listened and it once I started talking about Candace and the script, it started cutting out. It's better. So if it's okay with you guys, I'm just gonna replay the like 10 minutes or so before it gets bad so I don't have to start all over again. Does that sound okay? I won't be able to. Hi, Sarah. Hey, Cisco. That's gonna be my plan. And if it still is bad, then we'll just have to do it another time. Okay. So I'm gonna get out of the way and we'll play this through. And the whole we thing with Dawn is basically the part that's gonna go. And then once that gets all done, then we'll go back and talk about the script and then we'll move on. All right. So here we go. We're going to get on to this. So there's a couple of things. We got the we situation with Dawn. I know we kind of talked about this yesterday, but like I say, I wanted to go back and look at it again um because I did some analysis on it. By the way, it's going to sound choppy because it was choppy, but we'll just have to deal with that. So I was really interested. So just as a refresher, we're going to walk through this and then I typed some stuff up for you. So he's going to be talking about the day that Summer disappears. If you weren't here yesterday or you didn't watch it, he says, let me find the verbatim. He says, when we weren't exactly paying attention, someone snuck up there when we weren't exactly paying attention. That's what I was interested in. So here we go.
Summer's dad, Don Wells, agreed to meet with us. We talked to him on the edge of his property where Summer disappeared. What do you think happened? What does your heart tell you?
Well, I know in my heart and in my mind she was abducted. Someone snuck up there when we weren't exactly paying attention, and
when we weren't exactly paying attention.
Well, I know in my heart and in my mind she was abducted. Someone snuck up there when we weren't exactly paying attention, and we don't know if they come in the basement and grabbed her, or if she stepped outside the basement and was walking to her swing or something.
You can see the Wells.
So that was the thing that just that statement there was what I was looking into. So I pulled up some stuff about the word we, but I ended up breaking down the whole statement. So the text in black, this is what he actually says. The text in blue is my notes so I don't forget. So he starts out, well, I know in my heart and in my mind she was abducted. And that's a problem because he doesn't know that. He just thinks that. So when he says that she was abducted, it's not fact, but he makes it sound like it's a fact. Like why does he exclude every other possibility? It's just his own theory. It's not real. I mean, there's nothing to say. Law enforcement says there's nothing to prove of anything about an abduction. And then here comes the we. He says someone snuck up there and we weren't exactly paying attention. Then we have we. We all know that we is a plural pronoun. It means you and someone else. or more than one person with you. It's worth mentioning that he doesn't attempt to correct himself like Candace does in the doorway when she in that which I have pulled up. And then there's some notes at the bottom about the word we. Let me pull you over here real fast. You guys remember when we were watching this? It's in part 2, the part 2 video with Chris McDonough, and it happens at around 16:55. So she's going to talk about how she's going to go back in the house, but she slips there for whatever reason. We went, and then I went. Here we go.
You walked into the house.
I'm going to back it up, and then I'll be quiet. I'll mute out. Ready? Here we go.
Kids, and that's when I come back up into the house.
Okay.
With the boys.
Okay.
Not right.
You walked into the house.
I walked into here. Not right.
You walked into the house.
I walked.
I'm going to come back in quietly in case you turned it up. So you can hear her. She stumbles. I walked in, right? Sorry. Don doesn't do that. He doesn't trip over his words. So I'm going to give him that much because he does not correct himself. But the thing about the word exactly, we weren't exactly paying attention. It's kind of like he's using it as a softener. He's trying to take accountability without taking accountability. He's like, well, we weren't really exactly, we were kind of sort of paying attention, but not 100%. But, don't blame us, like fully. We're not 100% responsible. So I'm going to scroll down here to the we section. Now, this is from my textbook. This particular textbook is from Mark McClish. This is verbatim. I typed it out verbatim. Most people easily recognize the pronouns we, us, and they are plural pronouns. What you may not have realized is that the pronouns we and us always indicate a partnership between the participants. It does not mean they are the best of friends. It may be a limited partnership. However, these pronouns indicate a collaboration. These pronouns mean 2 or more people shared the same values. This is a little confusing, but he works it out here, so just hang in there. You should look to see if a partnership is appropriate in the given situation. So here's a quote that he's come up with. Quote, he told me to open the cash register. We then went into the storage room where he tied me up. The pronoun we tells us the cashier formed a partnership with the robber, which does not make sense. The use of the pronoun we indicates the cashier may have been in on the robbery. Hey, Cisco. But the cashier wants to say the 2 of them ended up in the storage room. It makes sense to the cashier to use the plural pronoun we. However, a real victim would have said something like, he forced me into the storage room. In that statement, there is no partnership. The use of the pronoun we may also mean that there was no robbery and the cashier is making it up. But the whole gist of this idea is that there's a coming together of 2 or more people with regards to one thing. So it goes on. I asked it, the little thing, to analyze this for me. Someone snuck up there when we weren't paying attention. Exactly, right? So the question I had was, what could the use of we mean? And there's a number of things. The most obvious one is that he was there. Like, he was there that day and was a witness to it. If taken literally, we weren't exactly paying attention could imply Dawn was physically present at the time of Summer's disappearance. If that's true, it directly contradicts his prior statements and Candace's that he was at work. It would also mean that he lied and inserted himself into the narrative in a way that raises serious red flags. The fact that he doesn't correct himself makes me feel like there wasn't a slip up. I feel like more so that he's aligning himself with Candace. I know Aurora says, Mullins says we as one person, though. That's how they speak in that area. That they interchangeably use we and I. The number two thought, he's protecting Candace or someone else. He might be using we to shield someone, most likely Candace, from full blame. Instead of saying Candace wasn't paying attention, which would sound accusatory or harsh, he says we. This dilutes responsibility and frames it as a shared oversight. It makes the moment sound more innocent and human, like a relatable parenting mistake. The third choice, he's creating a united front. Using we can also be a way of presenting himself and Candace as a team, still aligned, still grieving together. This is a public image move. He might be trying to show they're a strong couple facing a tragedy, not fractured or suspicious. It prevents the audience from seeing her as negligent or him as disconnected. Another choice here. He's narrating a scene he wasn't actually in. People fabricating or reshaping events often insert themselves into the story to make it feel more authentic or controllable. Saying we gives him a psychological presence in that moment, even if he wasn't there. It lets him own the scene without revealing that he's relying on secondhand information. So he's trying to make himself sound as though that's what really happened, right? This is especially common when the real story can't be told clearly, either because it's unknown or because it's being hidden. Number 5, he's subconsciously avoiding the truth. If Don knows something different happened, something darker, we might be his way of stepping around it. Instead of saying Candace left her unattended or someone did something, he generalizes to we weren't exactly paying attention. This avoids specific accusations, which could either feel dangerous or guilt-inducing. And the next one, he feels emotionally responsible. Even if he wasn't physically there, he might feel like he failed to protect Summer. We could reflect emotional guilt, not literal involvement. This is more plausible if he truly believes Candace is innocent and feels like they both dropped the ball in different ways. Now, we all heard him talk about his alibis, so I don't know about that. And then the last one, he's using we to blur the timeline. I was like, oh, great. The phrase, we weren't exactly paying attention, is vague by design. It doesn't say when they weren't paying attention. It doesn't say who was supposed to be watching. We becomes a placeholder, useful when you don't want to pin down exact facts. This can be strategic, especially if something about the timeline is off, which I thought was interesting. So it's going to continue on here because it did the whole statement for me. So we talked about this. Then the next part, the last part of the statement, he stumbles around a lot. He says, and they, she, we don't know if they came in the basement and grabbed her, or she stepped outside the basement and was walking to her swing or something. So the switching between they and she is pronoun confusion. And this is my interpretation. If you have a different one, let me know. It's like he can't decide. Don can't decide whether to say that Summer did something, like she did something, or that something was done to her. Like, who should he blame? The abductor or Summer for Summer's disappearance? So he's like, well, maybe she did that and maybe they did that. So it's a way to sort of, like, he doesn't want to blame Summer for her disappearance, alleged disappearance. So he's going to try to blame abductors, but see, I don't think that he's very confident in his abduction story. I think he just likes to say that. So you can see he skips around a lot. He doesn't really have a set person to blame, which is contradictory to what he said earlier, that he knew, basically without a shadow of a doubt, that she was abducted. Hey, wench. Hey, Gertie. Does that make sense? This pronoun confusion thing? If you interpret it differently, let me know. I know that it seems like he's just stumbling over words, but if you really pay attention to the places he stumbles, it does sound like he is debating on who he's going to say is at fault for this alleged abduction. So I'm going to take you back over there again. We're going to listen to it one more time.
What does your heart tell you?
Well, I know in my heart and in my mind she was abducted. Someone snuck up there when we weren't exactly paying attention, and we don't know if they come in the basement and grabbed her, or if she stepped outside the basement and was walking to her swing or something.
You can see the well.
Did you guys want to do it one more time? It goes really fast. It was really hard to type this out.
What does your heart tell you?
Well, I know in my heart and in my mind she was abducted. Someone snuck up there when we weren't exactly paying attention, and we don't know if they come in the basement and grabbed her, or if she stepped outside the basement and was walking to her swing or something.
You can see the
or something. It seems as though every time, most of the time, when Don's talking about the abduction, he begins his statement like very certain, like hands down for sure, this is a fact, she was abducted. And then the more he talks, the less certain he seems to be about his own story. And then by the end of it, he's usually like, or something, or, whatever. Or he trails off, his thought kind of trails off. It's like he convinces himself that it's not true anymore. So there's, okay. Ugh, jeez Louise. If it's still crackly, I'm gonna like throw my laptop across the room. That's so upsetting. I'm terrified to like move around in my tabs now. Is it still bad? I hope not, because I don't want to have to discuss polysyndeton for like the 5 millionth time. Get over here. I forgot that I wanted to run some statistical analysis stuff. I love probabilities. I'm a math person. I'm a big math person. So I like to run statistics and probabilities and things. So I actually I put in all of the information that I had, that her age, Summer's age, and the location and the terrain and the setup of the land of the house where it's at, and how you can't see it from the road, and then the distance from the dog trail to the back door, and the whole story about going in the house, and the discussion with the brothers, and all of that, and going downstairs, and then the abductor is going to come in the basement and for whatever reason closes the door behind him or her before taking off. And I wanted to know if all of that could really happen. Like if if there was any possible chance that could really go down. I want to show you what it told me. So after it did all of its math, the math was done mathing. It says, so my ultimate question. What's the probability that a complete stranger with no knowledge of Summer or the property abducted her from that remote elevated home in under 40 seconds without being seen or heard and escaped undetected? So it took like statistics of just generally speaking, the likelihood of someone being abducted, and then it narrowed it down to the likelihood of someone being abducted by a stranger. I mean, when it calculated this all out, it considered all the possibilities that it could. See if I can make this bigger. And as you can see, what it finally came up with, let me move this a little bit. There we go. Is that the likelihood that this happened is 1 in 125 billion. What the ultimate result it said is, if this was a random, unplanned stranger abduction with no prior knowledge of Summer or the property, it didn't happen. At least not in the way that it's been described. It did not happen. It did not. 100 and yeah. So let me finish here. So the probability of this happening, as Candace tells it, the probability of Candace's story is 1 in 125 billion. To put that in perspective, you are 428 times more likely to win the Powerball. You're 12,500 times more likely to be struck by lightning twice. And you are more likely to be killed by an asteroid than for this scenario to happen by random chance. That is like the math based off real statistics, like real probabilities and such. The likelihood, the probability that Candace's story can happen is 1 in 125 billion. So when I say that I don't believe it, I really don't believe it. I don't. And that's not just because I just feel a particular way. I really don't. This kind of solidified my belief that it's impossible. So when we have like Peter Hyatt saying that's just not realistic, that just didn't happen. It's not as though it's blind statements. Like I checked. I wanted to know. I wanted to know. Hi, Mama Bear. So the way that Candace describes this, we'll get back to the script and polysyndeton. The way that Candace has described this is the final conclusion that my little mather thing came up with. That it just didn't happen, not the way that she described it. It can't happen that way. It just cannot. Well, okay. It can, but you're more likely to be killed by an asteroid than her story to be accurate and true. Hey, Twister. Isn't that something? Isn't that just so interesting? When it got done doing all of its analyzing, and I had put in every single possible variable that I could remember, and it came up with this, I was like, oh my God, that's something. This is something. So could it happen? Could that have happened? Yes. Could it have happened the way that they're saying? Absolutely not. No. Candace's story absolutely cannot happen. It can't. Unless you're going to get hit by an asteroid, struck by lightning twice, and win the Powerball. So, we're going to go back here. I know that we talked about this already before I started cutting out. But like I say, somebody had emailed and asked me about this again. I know. So, just to reiterate and make it clear. Could she have been abducted by a stranger from the basement? Yes. Could it have happened the way Candace said? Absolutely not. Mathematically impossible that that's going to work. I mean, really, as if we didn't know that. So, the script. This is the script. As we were just talking about it. I'm sorry to like repeat myself, but when I was listening to what we were just talking about, it was too choppy for me to just continue playing it, so we're going to do it all over. So I had talked about this like 2 times ago. I've talked about this at least twice, but I'll do it one more time. Hopefully, it's just the last time. So I've listened to the script. We all have listened to the script about 1 billion times, probably 150 trillion times. And the thing that always sticks out to me is the way that Candace says it. It's always this and this and this and this and this and this and the end. Like that's how she tells the story. And I've always had a problem with that. So it's me and my mother and her were playing flowers. As a reminder, the mentioning first thing. This is from a book that was written by Mark McClish. It says, there is a reason why a person will mention one name before another name. Usually, this means the subject likes the person mentioned first better than the person he mentions second. It is what it is. It is what it is. Me and my mother and her were playing flowers. And we went in after we got done washing our hands. And she got a piece of candy from Grandma. And she wanted to go back over and see her brothers. And I said, okay. And I walked her all the way over to the porch. And I watched her walk into the kitchen where the boys were watching TV. And I told the boys, I said, watch Summer, I'll be back. And within 2 minutes, I come back. And I asked the boys where their sister was. And they said she went downstairs, wanted to play with their toys in the playroom. I said, okay. And I yelled downstairs for her a couple times. And I didn't get no answer, which was unusual because she always answers me. And so I went down there to check, and she was nowhere in sight. She was just gone. The end. Hey, Sin. The end. The end. So this repetition of this and. That's what polysyndeton is. This is what we were just talking about. And if it crackles again, I don't know what I'm going to do. So polysyndeton, this is the definition with regards to statement analysis. Polysyndeton is the repeated use of conjunctions, especially and, to connect parts of a sentence or list more than is grammatically necessary. That's kind of one of the key parts. It has to be more than should be. In statement analysis, it often appears as a subject stringing together events with and, rather than breaking them into clear sentences or logical groupings. So, in statement analysis, what can polysyndeton indicate? Number 1, it might mean the person is going off of a scripted narrative. It It may suggest the speaker is reciting a memorized or rehearsed story, especially if the pace is unnatural. The use of and over can mimic a mental checklist or a rehearsed timeline. The second one, avoidance of detail or depth. When a speaker rushes through events without separating them clearly, it may indicate a desire to avoid lingering on any one moment, possibly because one of those moments is sensitive or fabricated. Number 3, an attempt to seem cooperative or honest. Some people over narrate using and because they think that the more words they say, the more believable they're going to be. In reality, too much connective tissue without depth can signal verbal camouflage. Number 4, stress or disorganization. Polysyndeton can show a disorganized thought process, especially in high stress or emotionally charged situations. But when paired with lack of emotion or unnatural sequencing, it may signal deceptive intent rather than true overwhelm. So, as I was saying, and I hope I'm not cutting out again, if I am, I'm going to be upset. So, as I was saying, let's say that you're in like a highly charged situation and you got all kinds of emotions coming out, right? You're all upset, maybe you're crying and you can't quite get your thoughts organized and stuff. Somebody might do that, but you have to consider the context. And we know the blue tank top interview, which is where I copied this verbatim from, and she's clearly she's not upset or overwhelmed or sobbing profusely. She's not. So I was trying to think of an example. So we can just use what just happened. So let's say I'm doing a live stream and all of a sudden it starts getting crackly and the videos are cutting out and my sound is cutting in and out and it gets really annoying and frustrating. And so, right. And so what I did is I ended my live stream and then I went and set up a new one and then I went into my old one and then I checked the timestamps and I decided that I was only going to play part of it. And so I got the timestamps written down and then I went and set up a new one. And did I say that already? And so then I started my new live stream and I added the next video, the old video in, and I decided to play that from before so I didn't have to re-say everything. And see, it's weird. It's like and this and that and this, like a step by step. So usually what you would hear something like this happened and then this happened and then this happened and then a couple minutes later this happened, but it's and we went in and she got done and she wanted to and I walked her and I watched her. But as I just mentioned, this script, mathematically speaking, the probability of this happening is 1 in 125 billion. 1 in 125 billion. That some stranger came up to the property and did all of that stuff. It's just unrealistic, obviously. So there's that. Isn't that interesting? I tried very hard to try to make it work. I did everything I could to try to make it work. And it just, it cannot, it will not go. It will not work. Okay. Any questions about that? I don't mind re-answering it. It's just really, it's a big, long explanation. So let's pull that up. And then we will move on to back to where we were. So this is the blue tank top interview, right? If you know how sometimes when somebody like let's say there's something's going on, you watched something or you listened to something and you didn't really think anything of it and then somebody pointed something out to you and then from that point forward that's all that you could hear or see. Like, okay, for example, I don't know how many of you watched the HBO show And Just Like That. I watch that thing. But one of Charlotte's daughters, the adopted one, apparently in real life she's like 30 something, but in this show she's supposed to be playing like a teenager. And ever since somebody told me that this woman is like in her 30s. All I can see is how old this lady is and how like she's supposed to be playing this teenager. And I can't like unsee that. I can't undo that. So as soon as I started hearing this going and that's all I can hear. I don't have Nightbot in here and I'm just absolutely terrified to add some more stuff. All right, so here we go with the script.
A lot. I know she didn't walk away from this property by herself or off this yard by her swing. I feel in my heart that somebody has came up here and took her, has lured her away from here. Me and my mother and her were planting flowers. And we went in after we got done washing our hands, and she got a piece of candy from Grandma, and she wanted to go back over and see her brothers. And I said, okay. And I walked her all the way over to the porch, and I watched her walk into the kitchen where the boys were watching TV. And I told the boys, I said, watch Summer, I'll be back. And within 2 minutes, I came back. And I asked the boys where their sister was, and they said, she went downstairs, Mom, to play with her toys in the playroom. I said, okay. And I yelled downstairs for her a couple times, and I didn't get no answer, which was unusual because usually she always answers me. And so I went down there to check, and she was nowhere in sight. She was just gone.
Nope. Nope. It just can't happen. It can't. I tried. I tried every possible way, every variable that I could change when I asked this math problem. Every time I changed a variable, it got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And see the thing about so Sarah says, does sedation affect the and? See the thing about it is you have to look at baseline, right? She doesn't do that the rest of this interview. She doesn't do that. She only does it when she's talking. The only time she does this is when she tells you the script. That's it. It's the only time. Not to mention the fact that she ends it so abruptly. She ends it at the moment that it gets bad. So, let me take this off. So now we're going to start back up. Now we got all that done. We're going to go to the 15th of December with TBI's update, or lack thereof. All right, let me add this in. Little TBI. Cisco says, Candace Bly said, and came back. I wonder where that she's referring to. Well, remember in that one interview with Ernie, she has, I walked her back over, and the next thing I know, I was fixing the knee brace. And the next thing I know, which is a passing of time, it's a temporal gap. She's omitted some things. The 2 minutes is bullshit. Sorry. It is. It did not happen in 2 minutes. There's no way. She was gone longer than that. And the next thing I know would indicate that something else happened there. The dropping of the 2 minutes after she gets called out on that. If that is true, like let's say that the 2 minutes is true. Hey Millie, I'm glad you're here. If that was a true fact, if that really did happen in 2 minutes, she wouldn't drop that fact. It's a fact. The only reason that she would drop something is if it was a lie. Because why, you know what I mean? Why would you drop something that you're being honest about? I think it was a way to make herself look like she was more protective than she really was. No way that it was 2 minutes. There's a lot more going on that she didn't say. Statement analysis would indicate that. Peter Hyatt flat out says that he doesn't believe a thing that she said. But one of the final conclusions that I think almost every behavioral analysis person has come to has been that there's been neglect including myself. Like, I also believe that is in there, that the neglect language is in there, and that the using of only 2 minutes or within 2 minutes is a way to minimize the neglect or try to sidestep it, kind of thing. But see, she kind of went too extreme on that. She should have, if she was going to lie about it, she should have given her a little more time. I mean, 5 minutes maybe. Karma says, I want to know step by step from 2:30 till 6:30. Yeah, that block of time is interesting. At one point, Chris McDonough did a whole live stream about the missing 4 hours or something. Wasn't it the missing 4 hours, or was it the missing 40 minutes? Can't remember if it was the missing 4 hours or 40 minutes. I believe something happened at 5:30. I believe that wholeheartedly, because Don won't give it up. He keeps talking about 5:30. I believe that that's relevant for something. Right, so here we go. This is December 15. We're at the 6-month mark. And in a couple of videos, Grandma's going to come on and tell her story. Here we go.
I'm Leslie Earhart with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. 6 months ago, 5-year-old Summer Wells was reported missing from her home on Ben Hill Road in Hawkins County. The case remains unsolved and weighs heavily on those working to find answers.
Today, the investigation remains active and ongoing as TBI agents work alongside the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and the FBI to determine what happened to Summer. Investigators have executed numerous search warrants, collecting all potential evidence. We've spoken with anyone and everyone associated with the Wells family, in some cases more than once. This includes neighbors, acquaintances, and those working in the area the day she disappeared. We've used a plane, helicopters, divers, canines, and every resource available to us during search efforts. Despite the countless hours of tireless work, the circumstances surrounding her disappearance remain unclear. At this time, there is no evidence that she was abducted. However, all avenues continue to be explored, including foul play and the very real possibility that she wandered off and became lost in the mountainous and rough terrain surrounding her home. We are asking anyone who saw Summer at any time on Tuesday, June 15th to come forward.
That's interesting. We're asking anyone who saw Summer at any time. At any time. So this is December. 6 months later, she says we're asking anybody who saw Summer at any time on Tuesday to come forward. Hey, wench, circumstances remain unclear, right? And then it got changed. Let me look at my notes. It was circumstances remain unclear. The circumstances surrounding Summer's disappearance remain unclear. And then it changed to the circumstances leading to Summer's disappearance remain unclear. And I think that it's stayed. Hey, Whistle. I think that it's stayed as far as the leading to verbiage. Anyone who saw Summer at any time on Tuesday. Like, that's a big... Why would they want to talk to anybody? Why would they want to talk to people that saw her at any point during the day? What are they trying to verify? I thought that they had proof, like the proof of life. I thought the swimming video was proof of life. That's what Ansley Daniels said, the last known video. I probably could find that, but I don't know where that went. Trying to think. Let's see. I think I titled it, When Was Summer Last Seen, maybe? No. That's not it. I'm looking. I hope it doesn't kick me out of here. Swear to God, it was last seen. I don't see it. Remember, she's standing. Hi, Sandy. Ansley Daniels, she's standing in front of the swimming hole, and she talks about this, if you guys remember that. I don't even know where to begin. Karma says, I think they were trying to get the timeline. Could be. Maybe it was a way to verify the timeline. That would be interesting. I'm going to move on and see if I can find that. Maybe.
Today marks 6 months since the family of Summer Wells reported the 5-year-old girl missing.
Law enforcement continues to investigate her disappearance. Still no leads. Summer was reported missing by her family June 15th. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation issued an Amber Alert for her the next day. That alert remains active as the search continues.
Today on Twitter, the TBI said they're continuing to follow every lead. They said the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office will not stop working until they have answers about what happened to Summer. And the TBI reiterated there's no evidence that Summer had been abducted. They're continuing to explore all the possibilities.
At this time, there is no evidence that she was abducted. However, all avenues continue to be explored, including foul play and the very real possibility that she wandered off and became lost in the mountainous and rough terrain surrounding her home.
And they're encouraging anyone with information that could lead them to Summer to call 1-800-TBI-FIND or email tipstotbi@tn.gov.
That video has to be from the fall because the trees don't have any leaves really on them. Let me think. Ugh. This is going to be hard to find. I should know this. I should have this written down somewhere. I think it was in like a recap video. I can't see it right now. Give me a minute. Like around, let's see. Skip through. I'm scanning here to see if I can find this. That's July. YouTube channel. It's October. Wait, is this it? 5 months later. I probably won't be able to find it now. All right. I'm just going to have to look for it. Oh, is it in this one? Couldn't remember if I... Are you sure that I put the Ansley Daniel thing? Hi, Birdie. Was Summer last seen? Is it in there though? The Ansley, where she's standing in front of the swimming hole. Do you guys know what I'm talking about, right? She says this is the last known. This is the location of the. This is last known location, last known video, something like that. Because I think that video is just a statement analysis video. I don't remember. I don't know. Was it in this? Let's see. Was it in the Jody Sue video? Gosh, I can see it. I can see it in my mind. I hate that so much. I swear it was in like a recap video. Yeah, I don't see it in there. I'll have to keep, hi Appy Blue, I'll have to keep looking. All right, let's move to the next one. This is the protesters. Protesters. All right, we're into January finally. Oh my gosh, we're into 2022. It's a miracle. Here we go.
Several protesters yelled at the parents of Summer Wells as they worked on a home in the Edenburg Park community of Kingsport.
It's scary. It's scary for sure. I mean, Candace was in tears and she was shaking and all that. She's scared.
The group heard yelling profanities at the parents and loudly claiming the parents had something to do with Summer's disappearance.
Let the police do their job. I mean, I feel that they're just making a mockery out of everything for their YouTube channel and personal gain. I don't think they pretend that they're all about Summer and they care about Summer, but I think otherwise.
But Wells says today was not the first time he's seen the protesters. From his front porch this weekend, several hundred feet from the road, he could hear.
Okay. I think I found it. Karma says, okay, I was thinking about the blue tank top interview. When Dawn said something about her not coming back, or she passed and Candace gave him that look of hate. I remember that face. I used to think that it was because she didn't believe it, but now I think it could go the other way, that he said too much. I can see that. It's hard to tell. I wish they wouldn't have cut that all up. April 13, 2022 is when this occurs. That's why. All right, here we go.
Very much, as this week marks 10 months since family members said Summer Wells disappeared from their home in Hawkins County. News Channel 11 continues to work to find answers. Tonight, Ansley Daniels in the Beech Creek community with a timeline of June 15th, 2021, leading up to that night.
We've walked you through what has happened since Summer Wells disappeared the night of June 15th. But for the first time, we walk you through that day with her mother and grandmother from their perspective just hours before she was reported missing.
Candace and I got up that morning. She came out and took me into the ER because my leg was messing up on me.
The hospital is about 25 minutes from the Wells Beech Creek home in Kingsport.
She took me into the hospital and I ended up getting a shot for it to get rid of the pain. And they prescribed me medication.
Summer, her mother, and grandmother spent the day in the closest city to their
We'll be coming back to the grandma thing.
house.
Then we waited around for my prescription. Summer went swimming that day at the horse stables, I believe it was.
We were waiting on my mother's prescription from the drugstore at Walgreens on Fort Henry.
The three, along with a friend that Candace describes as a minor, then came swimming here at Warriors Path State Park. It's where the last known video of Summer was taken and then posted to TikTok.
I don't know. I think that somebody had reached out to Ansley Daniel to ask about this, and I don't think that she ever responded. But the thing is, if she's going to report this on the news, it has to be true, right? She has to have some sort of verification of that, right? I mean, the news can't just report something that's not, I don't know the word I'm looking for, supported with facts or evidence.
On my mother's prescription from the drugstore at Walgreens on Fort Henry.
The three, along with a friend that Candace describes as a minor, then came swimming here at Warriors Path State Park. It's where the last known video of Summer was taken and then posted to TikTok.
We had to wait for Mom.
I don't know. I'm going to ask. Can the news report something that isn't a fact? And portray it as one. Relying on unverified sources, failure to use qualifying language. Well, she doesn't use any qualifiers. Misunderstanding of the information. So it sounds like it could happen, but that it would be a misunderstanding. It would not be an intentional thing. It shouldn't be an intentional thing. Aurora says, yes, chasing did. They answered they only knew of the photo of her in the car and wasn't aware of a video. The TBI, is that who you're talking about? Be really interesting to know. Wonder if there's a way to like ask how like does she know that? I'm sure she wouldn't respond to me. I would really like to know the answer. I'm Googling here. Ansley Daniels said she wasn't aware of the video, but she just said that I mean, are you saying like she didn't know about the confirmation? Doesn't say. Nothing. I tried to find it online and it doesn't say. Wonder how to get a hold of her, and I wonder if she would write back if I tried. Oh, well, I'll try. I'll give it a try. I'll email her or something. Since I don't do I'm not on like social media like on X or whatever, Instagram. I don't do that stuff. All right, here we go. We're back in January, and grandma's coming up. We'll get there.
Protesters screaming over bullhorns.
You know, the protesters, been coming to our house probably 6 times in total and just making a mockery out of everything.
Are you afraid for your life?
Well, I mean, there at first it was.
Ugh, him sitting here. Karma says, have you tried calling Pruitt for an interview? No, I have not. First of all, I don't think he'd ever do that. But more important than that, I don't think that it belongs on the internet or in public. If the detective or if TBI or FBI, if law enforcement wants something made public, they're going to make it public. I think that putting out information that was not intended to be public, if you go and you put that on YouTube to get a couple of dollars, then all you're doing is making money off of something that could harm Summer or her case. Like, let's say that you're talking to him. Let's say that you're talking to Pruitt. You're live streaming the conversation for whatever reason, unbeknownst to him. And he tells you something that's not supposed to be public, but then you can't unring that bell. Once you're live streaming it and something happens, you can't like undo that because somebody's going to screen record that within like a second. So to me, all that would do is damage the case. That's my personal opinion. And I don't mean just with Summer. I mean with any possible case where law enforcement is involved. I think putting out information publicly that doesn't belong public will damage the case. That's my 2 cents on that. I don't think that anyone has ever been cleared. I think it's always everything is still on the table. Everyone is still a person of interest. They've never come out and cleared anybody that I know. But you get what I'm saying? It's like, let's say that some person is having a conversation. Let's say I'm having a conversation with Pruitt, which I don't know why I would be, but I don't know anything to talk to him about. But let's say that I was having a conversation with him. It's not something that I would feel comfortable talking about with anybody else. I don't know that I would even say that I had one. It's not, first of all, it's not my business, right? It's not my business. I don't know anything. People do a lot of things on YouTube for money. That's gross. And I think that's one of them. Just me.
Very scary. It could be bad. It could be dangerous. It has been. But we just want to get back to normal. And
Wells says the protesters' presence has been taxing.
I remember my stomach being in a knot just constantly, not being able to sleep. And if I did sleep, when I woke up, as soon as I wake up, first thing on my mind is Summer. Where's Summer? And just begging God, just constantly, just That was my baby, my little girl. She was always with me.
Wells keeps in contact with investigators, not giving up hope.
I even hear from people time to time where TBI has contacted them because their cell phone happened to ping in the area. So I know that they're still working and they're still looking into things.
See, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you say that?
Investigators, not giving up hope.
I even hear from people time to time where TBI has contacted them because their cell phone happened to ping in the area. So I know that they're still working.
See, so what he basically just told the public on the news is that the TBI's pulled cell phone records. Oh my God. What if, let's just say that there's an abduction. Let's just say in the 1 in 125 billion percent, 1 in 125 billion probability. Let's just say, what if the abductor listens to the news or listens on YouTube to kind of follow along with what's going on to make sure that they're not getting caught? What if somebody on YouTube or Dawn says something publicly that would scare them about it and they freak out and they, you know what I'm saying? Like the domino effect that could cause. That's awful. That's terrible. Why would you do that? That's your child. Just saying. This is the domestic assault.
Also
Dawn going to jail.
More breaking news at 4 for the first.
All right. We're in February 28, 2022. Thumbs up. People are stingy with their thumbs up. It's free. Doesn't cost anything. All right, here we go.
Time in weeks, the agents of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation are combing through Hawkins County woods today during what they call a planned search for missing 6-year-old Summer Wells. The TBI tweeted the agency focused on what they call previously identified areas of interest. The small-scale search was one of many efforts to try to bring Summer home. Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson revealed the search now involves 35 officers with the TBI and the Sheriff's Office. All this for Summer Wells. The Amber Alert's still active today. If you have any information that could help authorities find her, call 1-800-TBI-FIND, or you can email tips to tbi@tn.gov.
Crews are back on the ground in Hawkins County for day 2 in their planned small-scale search for missing 6-year-old Summer Wells. Thanks for joining us. I'm Casey Marler. March 15th will mark 9 months since family members say they last saw Summer at their Beech Creek community home. News Channel 11's Ansley Daniel joins us live where search efforts are underway. Hi, Ansley.
Hey, Casey. Yes, there are searchers out here from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation as well as the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office. I'm told those are the only 2 agencies working this search group today. There are also some.
Apparently so. This is from the end of, I remember this. February, the last day of February and the first day of March of 2022, because Tim had a thing about this. How did that go? Something happened. Oh, yes. This is the same time where WJHL goes to the property and Candace scribbles out that little note. Won't go on camera, but she scribbles out that little note. And law enforcement say that the Wells aren't cooperating anymore. That's all, this whole thing, that's all happening within these couple of days. So, yes, so the search was at the end of February, the last day of February and the first day of March of 2022. And it was like the last day of February or the day before that Tim made a post on Facebook, I believe it was on Facebook, about how the law enforcement said they're not cooperating, but Candace wrote the note and all this. That thing.
Some canines here as well. Now, this is the command center that was set up back in the height of that search back in June of last year. Now, in an interview this morning, Sheriff Lawson says 9 months later, authorities aren't any closer to finding the missing 5-year-old, but searches like this are just a part of this investigation.
We actually have not stopped looking for Summer. This is just another part of it that we are looking over some ground we've been on before and maybe some new ground we hadn't covered and just trying to turn up anything we possibly can to find this little girl.
Now, these crews are assigned to specific areas out here in Beech Creek. I'm told that some of this is mountainous terrain and some of it is also open field searching. Live in Beech Creek, Ansley Daniel, News Channel 11.
Another story at 6. Day 2 and a planned search for missing 6-year-old Summer Wells is now over.
The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation said teams scaled previously identified points of interest in Hawkins County. The agency says much of the area where Summer disappeared requires extra time to search thoroughly.
The note was written the same day as Grandma gives the interview. It will come up. You'll remember it when it happens.
They say it's extremely steep and dangerous. News Channel 11's Ansley Daniel spoke with Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson, the lead investigator in the case.
Yeah, Ansley, the sheriff told you today that Summer's family now currently is not cooperating with law enforcement?
That's exactly right, Josh and Sarah. He also told me that the family has attorneys. Now, he did tell me that he didn't want to speak any further on the matter, but I did have the chance to speak with Summer Wells' mother and grandmother at the home where she disappeared earlier today. And her grandmother told me that she wanted to address the sheriff's comments about them not cooperating, as well as whether or not they have an attorney. And this was the first time that we have spoken with her on camera since her granddaughter went missing.
Mr. Lawson stated that Candace and the whole family is lawyered up. I can't speak for Donnie, and I know Candace hasn't because she's told me she hasn't, and I have not. If law enforcement wants to talk to me, TBI wants to talk to me, they have my phone number. They know when I leave the state. They know when I'm here.
Summer Wells' grandmother, Candace Hare, says she hasn't spoken with law enforcement since December 13th.
They have not contacted me since.
What happened on December 13th? Was that, because that would have been the 6 months. So they were following back up with them 6 months after. Okay, her face. I have an opinion about Grandma here. In general, I believe 100,000 trillion % that she would never crack. I don't think, I know she would not. I know she would do anything she could to protect Candace, hands down. I don't think she cares at all about Dawn, but I have a hard time dealing with her statements because of that. She's got a poker face.
The YouTubers were down here in the driveway, and we asked them about trespassing.
Summer's grandma was with her granddaughter all day on June 15th, the day she disappeared. She walked me through what they did that day and said she and Summer were repotting cactus plants outside of her camper, and then
Summer came in and had a piece of peppermint, which is her favorite, and then she went in. She said, "Mama, I want to go play with the boys." Candy walked her back to the house, and she asked the boys to keep an eye on her, and that's the last time I seen her.
As the night.
Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear the way that she laid out that information? This and this and this and this. Ready?
Potting cactus plants outside of her camper, and then
Summer came in and had a piece of peppermint, which is her favorite, and then she went in. She said, "Mama, I want to go play with the boys." Candy walked her back to the house, and she asked the boys to keep an eye on her, and that's the last time I seen her.
As the 9-month mark of when her.
But okay. I'm going to think out loud for a minute, and it probably doesn't mean anything. But how is Grandma involved in the talking to the boys? Grandma's not supposed to be involved in that conversation. She's supposed to still be over by the camper. And.
It's outside of her camper, and then
Summer came in and had a piece of peppermint, which is her favorite, and then she went in. She said, "Mama, I want to go play with the boys." Candy walked her back to the house, and she asked the boys to keep an eye on her, and that's the last time I seen her.
Once you start listening for the "and" thing, the polysyndeton situation, it's all I can hear is just that. and yeah, it's like telephone. Karma says then the candy was peppermint. Yeah, the elaboration. That piece of candy means something. I don't know what, but it sure means something. It's very important. It could potentially mean that it was a special thing that doesn't happen very often. And so it's kind of a noteworthy event. Otherwise, why mention it? It's kind of, it is irrelevant to the story. It is supposed to be irrelevant to the story, I should say. Sorry. That whole thing. Okay, so according to the script, let's think this through. According to the script, there's supposed to be the planting of the flowers and the washing of the hands and the piece of candy, the wanting to go back over, the walking all the way over, the asking the boys to watch Summer, and then that's at the end. And then that's at the end. So she stops her story. Okay. You're going to have to help me here, you guys. So Candace stops her story at she went down in the basement and she wasn't there and she was just gone at the end. She ends her story at the what would be sort of the climax of the timeline, right? Grandma ends her story in the same way, kind of, sort of. Hi, tears ran dry. Do you get what I mean? She's this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and she went in the house. That's the last time I saw her. But it's like, and then what? And then what happened? Like, then what after that? Candace came back over. She helped me with this, and then Candace went back, and then she came out. She's like, "Oh my God, Mom, I can't find her." Like, where's the rest of the story? Her story stops in the same fashion, just in the same place. It's like this and this and this and the end. Do you get what I'm saying? Should we do it one more time? Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me if you hear it different.
November 13th. They have not contacted me since
Yeah.
the YouTubers were done.
Katie was just like, poof, she was gone, done. Right. And then there's nothing. There's nothing. The most, I'm going to call it important, the most intense, emotionally intense part of the story never happens. It's just like, and she was gone, and the end. And there's no more. That's it. I have such a problem with that.
Down here in the driveway.
Karma says, is there an interview with her over Rose? Yes. It happened when she was still in Wisconsin. It's kind of a big, long documentary thing. I don't remember where it was. It was, when I watched it, it was not on YouTube. It was somewhere else. Like I had to go to, it was somewhere on Facebook when I watched it, but I couldn't tell you where. I don't think. I'm not good at maneuvering Facebook. It's not my thing. I don't do good with social media. Why won't this open? I don't see how to get there. How do you get into the videos that you've saved? Could somebody tell me quickly how to do that? I don't know how to do that. Like I've saved videos that I've seen. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Janice. Is there a certain place on Facebook I can go to find that? My save, because I've made videos and then there's a choice to look at save videos, but when I click that, nothing comes up. It's empty. Nothing there. Weird. Sarah says, I think I watched it on YouTube. Okay. Let's see. What would be, if we were going to look for it, what would we look for? Is this it? No. It goes on for like some period of time, doesn't it? All I can find is people just talking. I'll have to look and see if I can find it again. Okay, so let's get back to this.
And we asked him about trespassing.
Summer's grandma was with her granddaughter all day on June 15th, the day she disappeared. She walked me through what they did that day and said she and Summer were repotting cactus plants outside of her camper, and then
Summer come in and had a piece of peppermint, which is her favorite, and then she went in. She said, "Mama, I want to go play with the boys." Candy walked her back to the house, and she asked the boys to keep an eye on her, and that's the last time I seen her.
as the 9-month mark of when her granddaughter was reported missing approaches, she says the social media and online rumors have to stop.
If they want to help, that's great. But if they want to spread lies, that's a different story. Because that's all they're doing now is spreading lies. They're reaching and trying to figure out what lie can we spread now.
I don't think that we're coming up with a lie that you can. I don't think that we're spreading lies here. I think we're going through these statements in a scientific way and analyzing them. I don't remember what the title was. I just remember that it was longish, like 10 minutes or something.
And I'm tired of it.
Now, Summer's mother, Candace Bly, did not want to go on camera. However, she did write this statement for us on my notepad. You see it right there on your screen as well. It says, "I've never stopped talking to law enforcement. No, I have not."
This is the note that I was talking about, Sarah. Remember this now?
As well, it says, "I've never stopped talking to law enforcement. No, I have not lawyered up. I don't understand why this is being said. I can't speak for Dawn, and we are willing to do whatever to bring our daughter Summer home. Thanks for all the searchers." Now, she also did not want to address her new YouTube channel, Dr. Phil, or anything other than the comments by the sheriff made earlier today. However, she and her mother, Summer's grandmother, wanted me to reiterate how thankful they were for the searchers who are still out looking for Summer, as well as law enforcement for still keeping this investigation open and fresh. Live in Beech Creek,
Okay,
Ansley Daniel, News Channel 11.
All right, found it. Let's see, how can I do this? There, I think. I sent it to you. I think that's it. Because it goes on. Yeah, because she's driving in the car. I remember this now. Okay. Let me look. It's titled, what is this titled? Oh, it's in Reels, that's why. I'll never find it now. If I can get the link to get on YouTube, well, it probably kicked you out. Let me see. Copy link. Let me see if I can do this. I am social media illiterate, so don't feel bad. It's just never been my thing. I don't even like my cell phone. All right, let's try this. I hope that works. Okay, so here we go. I don't know. It won't let you drop a link. Man, my battery is dying. It won't let you drop a link if you're not a mod, but just a minute and I'll do that. Is that the one? Okay. I'm so afraid to open stuff on my computer because I don't want it to like freeze up again. See, this is the real. Maybe this would work better. Is that one better? The one you sent me on YouTube. Did you post it in here? Oh my gosh, it's dying. Please don't die. Please don't die on me. There. I don't see anything. Why don't I see it? Whoops. Please don't freeze. I'm in there and I don't see it. It's really small because it's a reel. There we go. Okay. Thank you. But is this... Oh, I see. Oh, that's right. Now I remember. Okay, there. I'm going to pin that so we don't lose it. Maybe we can take a sidebar and look at that at some point. Thanks, Aurora. I remember this now. Thumbs up. Let me see what's next. Thumbs up. Grandma again.
Candace and I get up that morning.
Okay, we'll do grandma again and then let me pull this down a minute. Yeah, Aurora for the win. This one, and then we've got another grandma one. And then the lead investigator talks. Oof, okay. We'll finish up with grandma here, and then maybe we can... It's like 15 minutes, 16 minutes long. Does it include the little 5-minute thing? It does. Okay. All right, here we go.
Candace and I get up that morning. She come out and took me into the ER because my leg was messing up on me, and we were afraid something was wrong with my knee. I have a knee replacement, and she was worried that there was something wrong with it. And she took me into the hospital, and
this.
I shot for it to get rid of the pain, and they prescribed me medication to take to get the swelling down out of my knee and around my knee because it was inflamed. And
you know that the thing here about this though is that I'm very much on the fence. There's not a whole lot of stuff to compare this to. It's not like she's done a whole lot of interviews. It would be helpful for us to watch the other one, I suppose. But there's a lot of detail in here that doesn't seem important. Like, it doesn't... Why? I don't get it. Why not just say we went to the emergency room and then we went to Walgreens? Like, why? Put the rest of the stuff in.
then we waited around for my prescription. Summer went swimming that day at the horse stables, I believe it was. And then we come back, and I went in my camper, and after we brought my groceries in for me, and
it's out of order.
After we brought my groceries in for me, and the boys helped with that, and of course Summer. And I laid down and went to sleep, and I got up and I was sitting in my doorway.
There's the nap.
And we come out, and Candace asked me what I was doing. I said, well, we got to transplant these little cactuses into bigger pots. And we did that, and then Summer come in and had a piece of peppermint, which is her favorite. And
I'm gonna go and get the interview room video. No, I want part 2. There it is. Probably be beneficial for us today. But that's gonna go on for a really long time. I want to know how long the nap was as well, and I also would like to know why that wasn't part of the story. I'm skimming here. I don't know if they actually talk about that here. Let me pull it in so you guys can watch it with me. Hi, Zoe.
Okay, so when she's leaning against the milk, is she sleeping?
She was sleeping, yes.
Okay. From exhaustion from that day?
Yes, she was. Where I woke her up early, and she usually sleeps till 9, 10, even 12 o'clock if I let her.
Okay. How did the milk bottles get rearranged? Hunter said he had them on the floor, and then he put them next to him.
They weren't.
I'm not so much. I don't. Whatever.
No.
Okay, so walk me through
that.
When we dropped him off, they were actually still on his lap,
Okay.
and he put them on the other side of Summer.
Okay. So he reached over?
Yeah, he set them over there by that. What's a black tote she had in there?
Okay. Was there
Scraps.
when did she just fall asleep next to that?
She fell asleep, I'd say maybe 5 minutes on the road.
Okay. Got it. And then so walk me through, you get home, you take the groceries inside. Is Don home, by the way?
No, he's
Okay.
not.
Okay.
Actually, I parked the truck and I opened both doors. It's really hard because this lawnmower of his. But I opened the doors up and I shook her. I said, "Wake up, we're at home." She jumped right up.
Okay.
Like nothing. I unbuckled her and I said, "Come on." I said, "Mom, I'll be right back."
Okay, this
Went
is
in
good.
there and got.
Okay, so do you guys hear the way that she's talking? There, it's not the and then like it's a natural progression of time. There's no and this and this and this and this and this.
And I opened both doors. It's really hard because this lawnmower of his. But I opened the doors up and I shook her. I said, "Wake up, we're at home." She jumped right up.
Okay.
Like nothing. I unbuckled her and I said, "Come on." I said, "Mom, I'll be right back." Went in there and got the boys and they were sitting at the table. And I said, "Come on, let's get the groceries out." And we brought them all in the house, went through them all, did all that.
And this is that's her swing.
That's her swing right there.
Come show me her swing. Why is this? And who's this?
That is Smoking Boots. That's my boy's cat.
And how many dogs do you have here on the property? About.
Honestly, I don't know because people just keep dropping them off.
Hi. I know. Okay. Sorry. So this is her swing.
That's her swing.
This is her playground.
Yep.
And she loved this area. Boy, I'm looking at this, and this terrain, Candace, just strikes me as being so dense and just. Is that they say the dog trail? Where's this dog trail thing? That
I'm not sure, honestly.
There's so many of them.
The dogs go in every different.
Yeah, I saw the dogs came out of the woods as we were pulling up.
Yeah.
Okay.
They do that all the time.
Okay.
That trail right there, my boys, they ride those dirt bikes that are leaning against the truck over there.
Okay.
You can see there's one of them.
Okay.
And
those are like 50 cc's, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one ain't. I think it's only like 25, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, they go down that trail with their dirt bikes and then come back up on the road, up on the driveway and go around and stuff.
What was it about this swing that is just so important for her?
She liked it. She just liked to swing. All the kids did.
Now, I don't want to talk about the boys right now because I know that's, a tough another part of your heart. Okay. Yeah. And that's none of my business.
Right.
I'm not here for any of it. You know what I mean? I'm not here to judge anybody. Right. I'm here to talk about Summer and help you find Summer. Okay. And help anybody help
Right.
find her. Okay, that
Yeah.
messaging.
You can feel however you want to feel about Chris McDonough, and you do you. But I get really upset when he talks like this because his intention might be to find Summer, but he's got more. There's other motives behind what he's doing, and like self-serving motives. And I hate that he paints this picture where he's all about Summer, when in reality, in my opinion, he's a lot about himself as well, simultaneously. It's sort of like, look at me, I'm all about Summer. It's got nothing to do with my YouTube channel. It's got nothing to do with my obsession with Dawn. It's really like, it's so frustrating to hear him, I don't interview, quote unquote interview, because it's not, he interrupts her all the time. He doesn't let her just talk. And that's the thing. If you are interviewing somebody, you want to just ask them an open-ended question and then just let them talk. You don't interrupt, you just let them tell you about something. And it isn't until they're all done that you go back and ask about clarification for something else. You have to wait till they're all done. It's a psychological thing that it's a known thing where if people are in a room together, say, and no one is talking, it's the most uncomfortable thing. There's nothing going on. And so someone will inevitably talk to fill the space with something. So if you're sitting there with somebody, like that's why a therapist will do that. If you ever seen a therapist before, they'll be like, tell me how it's doing, tell me how it's going, tell me about what you've been up to. And then they just sit there and they don't interrupt you. They shouldn't. They just let you talk. And the longer that the therapist is quiet, the more you're going to talk about, because no one wants to sit in silence. It's uncomfortable. But when you're telling her, say, tell me about what happened that day, that should be your cue to shut your mouth and to be quiet and to take mental notes. And then after it's all done, then you can go back. Then you can back it up and bring her to a part of the story. That's what law enforcement's supposed to do it that way, generally speaking. You're supposed to let someone get all the way through their story and then take them back to not the start, but somewhere in the middle and have them restart their story again. Because if a person is telling you the truth, they're telling you something that really happened, for like their for real memories, you can move them around in their story as many times as you want, and they'll be able to pick up right where you've brought them to. But if a person has concocted a story that's a lie, they have to go all the way back to the beginning and go through the first couple of steps to get where you've put them. Like, let's say this person has 10 steps in their story and they get all done and you say, okay, take me back to number 3. They have to mentally go through number 1 and number 2 to get to number 3 if it's a memorized thing. It's not that your brain doesn't work the same way when it's recovering a memory as when it's recovering something you've memorized. So when he does this, when he interrupts her all the time, and it really affects the analysis that we can really do. But I'm mostly interested in it because I have forgotten how she describes what Grandma just got done describing and where the nap would fit in.
Okay, so you go into the house.
Go in the house. And
Can I follow you in, or you comfortable with that? Huh?
I don't know what about do. Let's steal the cat food.
Okay. And is this they're going to attack me?
No.
Oh, I was just I'm teasing you. The dog's going to attack me. So this is the
Sorry, hold on.
the
Let me back that up just a minute.
And is this they're going to attack me?
Her face right there is the same face that this is how I feel about Chris McDonough.
No.
Oh.
No.
I was just I'm teasing you. The dog's going to attack me. So this is the scaffolding you're talking about.
Yeah, that's my. Yep.
Okay, so she comes up, jumps up, and goes right in.
Yep.
Okay. How many cats? You know what? You should have like a zoo license. You know, I'm seeing all kinds of critters, which is good. Okay, where's Summer's bed?
Oh, it's in the basement.
Got it. Okay. So
Sandy says you can't see who actually goes in and out that door from the trailer. But see, in one of the interviews, where was that we were watching the other day, where Candace said no one in, no one out? Do you guys remember that? No one in, no one out. Where was that? Where was that from? I know I wrote it down. You guys remember? Where was that at? No one in, no one out. Is it this? Oh, it is this one, isn't it? Yes.
Oh, what happens when she comes in? The boys are playing where?
No, the boys are actually sitting here,
Okay.
and they're actually sitting right here at the table watching TV.
Okay, so they're at the table
Yeah, I come in
watching
and get
TV.
'em.
Okay.
They were all locked in. Nobody could get in. Nobody could get out. Kind
Okay.
of thing.
Now who's just
There we
on
go.
up here?
I'm gonna write this down again.
All locked in. Nobody could get in. Nobody could get out.
This is at so this is in part 2, and this is we're gonna say 1330. Because when I did an analysis on this, if you guys remember, what it had said was that there's an implication that there's a threat on the outside and a threat on the inside. If you guys remember when I had run that, all locked in. Nobody can get in. Oh, I wrote that down wrong. I better fix that. Nobody can get in. It's weird.
The boys are actually sitting here,
Okay.
and they're actually sitting right here at the table watching TV.
Okay, so they're at the table
Yeah, I come
watching
in and get
TV.
'em.
Okay.
They were all locked in. Nobody could get in. Nobody could get out.
Okay.
They were all locked in. Nobody can get out. Nobody can get in. Nobody can get out, kind of
At
thing.
the table
Yeah, I come
watching
in and get
TV.
'em.
Okay.
They were all locked in. Nobody could get in. Nobody could get out. Kind
Okay.
of thing.
Now who's just on up here?
That's my little sister that's missing.
Oh, that's Rose.
That's Rosie.
Oh, wow. Wow. And who's the guy?
That's her ex-husband.
Wow. Do you think he had anything to do with that?
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, we don't want to go
I
there.
can't say.
How's
yes
your
or
mom
no.
deal with that?
It's difficult.
Yeah, I know. You know I know, right? So, okay, watching TV, where's Summer?
Summer, she was with me.
Okay, so walk me through that.
All right. Well, we walked up in here and we got Josie, Wyatt, and Waylon, the boys.
Right.
Well,
You put the groceries down, right?
Yeah. Well, we went back out and then we brought the groceries and put them down.
You see what I'm saying? So he's like, and then you brought the groceries. No. Ouch. You need to just let her talk. Don't tell her the timeline. Just let her talk. Just let her talk it out.
And then Mom, she took her stuff to her house, put her stuff away.
Okay.
And then,
No.
of course, me and Summer went back over.
No, that's not correct. No, it's not. She didn't take her stuff. She said that the boys took the stuff over. Right? Oi. Let's see. What she said was, I went to my camper, and after we brought my groceries in for me, and the boys helped with that, and of course Summer. That's what Grandma said.
Well, we walked up in here and we got Josie, Wyatt, and Waylon, the boys.
Right.
Well,
You put the groceries down, right?
Yeah. Well, we went back out and then we brought the groceries and put them down.
Hi, Mars.
And then Mom, she took her stuff to her house, put her stuff away.
Okay.
And then, of course, me and Summer went back over, put our stuff away.
Okay. You went back in.
Yeah, me and Summer went back in the house. And then we were just doing normal stuff.
Okay.
On the house like we normally do. And I come out, Mom was sitting there.
It's weird. We were doing normal stuff. What is normal stuff? I should type this out and go through it on a different day with you guys.
Yeah, me and Summer went back in the house. And then we were just doing normal stuff.
Okay.
On the house like we normally do. And I come out, Mom was sitting there at the time I come out and I'm standing here. I was like, what are you doing? What are you staring at? She's like, these plants, I gotta get them transplanted. I was like, well.
Okay, so while they're busy doing normal stuff, that's the only time that they're going to squeeze in the nap. Normal stuff. I don't know what the normal stuff is. That's the only place that it would fit.
Doing normal stuff.
Okay.
Around the house like we normally do. And I come out.
I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask about this. Okay. Let me find an appropriate chat to do this in. Okay. She says, what does she say? I want to get a verbatim.
Of course, me and someone went back over, put our stuff away.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You went back in.
Yeah, me and someone went back in the house.
But okay, so Crow's Feet says she never said that the boys went back into the house. No, she didn't. But then again, at the same time, she also doesn't place them outside of the house. She says that they were sitting there and watching TV or whatever, and Summer and her go out and get the groceries, and so she's never brought the boys outside.
Okay. Yeah, we don't want to go there.
Can't say.
How's
yes
your
or
mom
no.
deal with that?
It's difficult.
Yeah, I know. You know, I know, right? So, okay, watching TV. Where's Summer?
Summer, she was with me.
Okay, so walk me through that.
All right. Well, we walked up in here and we got Josie, Wyatt, and Waylon, the boys.
Right.
Well,
You put the groceries down, right?
Yeah. Well, we went back out and then we brought the groceries in and put them down. And then Mom, she went took her stuff to her house, put her stuff away.
Okay.
And then, of course, me and someone went back over, put our stuff away.
Okay.
See?
You went back in.
Yeah, me and someone went back in the house. And then we were just doing normal stuff.
Okay.
Around the house like we know.
We were just doing normal stuff. We were just doing normal stuff around the house. Like we normally do or did.
Normally do.
Do. It's thinking. Statement analysis breakdown. This is not a specific recall. The word just minimizes whatever they were doing. It's a downplaying modifier. Think of just as a way of saying, don't worry, nothing out of the ordinary. Normal stuff is nondescript. It's not what they were doing. It's a label about what. It's a label about what they were doing. Okay. Let me think of a different way to say this. So what it's saying is that she's not describing what they're doing, not describing the task. She's not like, we're doing laundry, we're doing dishes, we're putting groceries away. She's not telling you about the task. She's just saying that the tasks that they were doing were normal. She's not saying the tasks. She's describing what the tasks are like, is what it's saying. Does that kind of make sense? It's not what they're doing. It's a label about what they're doing. And then it continues on, the around the house like we normally do. This is a reassurance statement, not a memory. Oh. Still no actions listed. Still no concrete activity. She's trying to make the day feel unremarkable, which should raise eyebrows because it wasn't unremarkable. The statement, like we normally do, is a built-in alibi. It implies routine, comfort, and implicitly says there was no chaos or danger. In truthful narratives, the day a child goes missing becomes etched into memory. People remember what they were doing, where they were standing, the last words spoken, small, strange details. It wants me to paste over the entire statement. It's asking me to put this whole statement in there, which I don't have typed out. It would be hard to pick this. It would be hard to pick her statement out because he keeps interrupting.
Okay.
And then, of course, me and someone went back over, put our stuff away.
Okay. You went back in.
Yeah, me and someone went back in the house. And then we were just doing normal stuff.
Why not say what you were doing? Sandy says they probably never forget. Yeah, Brandy had said at one time, she told me that it's like you remember every single possible microscopic detail, like every second of time. You have a memory that fills every second of time. And it's like uh the memory never fades. It never it never changes. It's consistently vivid as if it happened the day before or the same day. It's like living the same day over and over, that the memory itself doesn't get any less intense. Something like that. Sarah says today is Monkey's missing date. Oh man. I hope she's doing okay. But that's how she described it. That it's consistently vivid and specific, and that all of the stuff involved in it, not only the events that occurred, but the emotions that were tied in, all the sensory stuff, the sounds and the smells and everything else, like all of that remains in the forefront of your mind. Like it's never, you never have to attempt to recall something. It's just always there, ready to recall. Birdie says, and the part of unbuckling Summer opening car doors, such detail, probably the most detail of all events that day. Yeah, right? She is very specific when she's talking about the moving around of the groceries. She's very detailed with that. And then we have the jumping, the temporal gaps, which is really weird.
Okay.
On the house like we normally do. And I come out, Mom was sitting there at the time I come out, and I'm standing here. Okay. I was like, what are you doing? What are you staring at? She's like, these plants, I gotta get them transplanted.
Okay, so to be fair, we have to be fair. Remember, because the rule is that we have to believe what someone is telling us. We have to go in it with the presupposition the person is telling the truth. To be fair, while she's busy doing the normal stuff that she does, this whatever this is, when she's busy doing her normal stuff, a nap could fit in there, and she might not know about the nap firsthand because she wasn't present for this nap. Not taking her side, don't think that. It's just that there's the possibility, there is a window right there for the nap, and that a possible explanation why she doesn't include it is because she's not the one that was napping and she wasn't witnessing the napping. I'm just saying. I have other opinions, but I know it's really hard to do, but we have to be fair.
I was like, well, Summer will help us, so I went back in. By that time, she was sitting on the floor playing with her toys.
Right here?
No, in the kitchen where we were just at.
Okay.
She was actually sitting on the floor playing with the toys at that time. I said, Summer, you want to help plant flowers? And she jumped up, left her toys and us, of course. That's cool.
Yeah, that's what kids do. It's their job.
What?
Okay.
This talking about Summer jumping right up, that came in, wasn't that, oh no, that was all of a sudden. It wasn't, okay. I have it confused. I don't know. I know the word actually hit, right? You heard that? Tears Ran Dry said she was actually. I heard that too, and it sat in my brain for a second, and I'm like, that probably doesn't mean anything, but silly me, because it's in my book. There's a whole section about the word actually. Should I look for that? God, I hope this doesn't crash me. Here we go. Actually. Okay, I'm going to read this to you. This is out of my textbook, my Mark McClish textbook. What chapter am I in, so I don't forget? Unique words. It's considered a unique word. This is going to be in number 2. Let's see. Never actually. Okay, here we go. People will use the word actually to give emphasis to something. I actually liked that dessert, for example. The use of the word actually also indicates a person is comparing two thoughts. Consider the following question and answer. Question: did you buy a new car? Answer: actually, I bought a new truck. In this answer, it is easy to see the person is comparing buying a car with buying a truck. Most of the time, when people use the word actually, you will be able to see what the person is comparing. Let's see. The word actually is used and no statement has been pro-offered when we have some, okay. Let me see how to explain this without reading this whole thing, because this goes on for a number of pages. There's an example here. On February 28, 2015, UFC fighter Ronda Rousey defeated Kat Ziongo in just 14 seconds at UFC 184. At the start of the fight, Ziongo charged at Rousey. Rousey then quickly defeated Ziongo to retain her championship. After the fight, commentator Joe Rogan interviewed Rousey and asked her if she was surprised that Ziongo charged at her. Rousey responded, quote, "No, actually, we were expecting that she might come out and just do something flying at me right away." She probably used the word actually because Rogan suggested she may have been surprised by the sudden attack. Rousey was comparing his suggestion with her answer that she was not surprised. The word actually is used and no statement has been pro-offered when we have some undisclosed information. Sometimes you will be able to figure out what information the person is withholding. Earlier, we talked about Casey Anthony, who waited 31 days before she reported her 3-year-old daughter Kaylee missing. While talking to the 911 operator, Anthony made the following statement. I know, quote, "I know it was her. I've tried to contact her. I actually received a phone call today. Now, from a number that is no longer in service. I did get to speak to my daughter for a moment, about a minute." Anthony used the word actually when talking about receiving a phone call from the nanny that allegedly had her daughter. This means that she is comparing receiving a phone call with what? The 911 operator did not suggest that it had been weeks since Anthony talked to the daughter. The opposite of receiving a phone call would be not receiving a phone call. Wait, let me repeat that. So actually, it's supposed to be about comparing two things, right? And it says the opposite of receiving a phone call would be not receiving a phone call. Let me back her up here.
These plants, I gotta get them transplanted. I was like, well, Summer will help us, so I went back in. By that time, she was sitting on the floor playing with her toys.
Right here?
No, in the kitchen where we were just at.
Okay.
She was actually sitting on the floor playing with the toys.
And she was actually sitting on the floor, opposed to what? Standing?
At that time.
So if you were going to go off what my textbook says, the opposite of sitting is standing. I don't know. If your boss gives you a compliment by saying you actually did a good job, that is not a very good compliment. The use of the word actually indicates your boss thought you would not do a good job. This is because the word actually indicates a person is comparing two thoughts. When this word is used, you should look to see if you can figure out what the person is comparing. Most of the time, you will be able to see the comparison. If you do not know what he is comparing, you will then have some undisclosed information. That would be, that's what it says about actually.
I said, Summer, you want to help plant flowers? And she jumped up, left her toys and us, of course. That's cool.
Yeah, well, that's what kids do. It's their job.
What?
Okay.
We walked over here and we transplanted these cactuses from the little pots that they were in. And transplanted these ones here into this bigger pot and that one into that bigger pot. And she took the rocks that we've gotten from different gem mines when we went up to Gatlinburg and stuff.
Okay.
And she's the one that spreaded all the rocks around in here. And then she put her puppies in here. She wanted Chase in there, you know.
Okay.
That was cool.
Where are those puppies now?
What do you mean?
Oh, the little puppies. Her real ones.
Yeah, these little.
Oh, yeah, those little guys. Oh, that's Paw Patrol.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the police one.
Yep, that's Chase. He's always on the case.
Okay. Okay.
Then we went
Oh,
in
I see another one over
Yep,
here.
She put him in.
Why? So Sandy says, why use she jumped up? Did she say suddenly or all of a sudden? I don't remember. Because Peter Hyatt, when he was talking about Dawn, he was referring to all of a sudden when Dawn was talking about how she jumped up and wanted to go inside. But I don't remember anything about the saying of the jumped up thing. Like, I don't remember there being any concern about that. All of a sudden would be something.
Yeah. Yeah, you're on the cactus.
Okay. Don't take those out, okay?
No, I leave them right there.
I know.
And then we went in my mom's where we can't get in there.
Yeah, that's fine. Went in
We
there.
went in there and got some candy and stuff. She gets from grandma.
Okay.
And I said, well, I'm going to go back over to the house. She wanted to go back, so I say I go.
No, no, no. No, no, no. That's wrong.
Grandma.
Okay.
And I said, well, I'm going to go back over to the house. She wanted.
She said, Candace. Candace did. That she wanted to go back over to the house. Candace wanted to go back over to the house. Candace did. Summer's like, okay, let's go. Right? Am I not hearing that correctly?
Candy and stuff. She gets from grandma.
Okay.
And I said, well, I'm going to go back over to the house. She wanted to go back, so I say I go back,
See?
Okay.
And I brought her. I literally walked over to here. Like literally walked right to here where I could see the boys and on the kitchen table.
Got him.
And I watched her walk in there. And afterwards, when she was already in there, I walked over and said, quiet. And he looked at me and I said, watch Sissy, I'll be right back. And that's when I walked back over to my mom's.
Okay.
And I was fixing her brace and stuff like that. And I said, well.
And stuff like that. Mara says she wants to imply she's perfectly fine. Yes, she does. She wants to make it sound like she's this perfect mother. I was fixing her knee brace and stuff like that. Didn't we talk about and stuff like that already? We totally did. When we were looking at her statement that she had with Ernie, that's where and stuff like that happened. Oh man, I don't think I've got that anywhere. Yeah, I do. No, I don't. That's the next thing I know. No, that's the wrong one. I don't have it. Stuff like that. Who says stuff like that? Who did that? I thought it was a situation with Candace talking. Stuff like that. She's done that twice now. Stuff like that. Like what? I mean, what other stuff is like fixing a knee brace? Because she did it with the candy. Ugh, stupid candy. I'm gonna go back here.
No, I leave them. We went in there and got some candy and stuff. She gets
and stuff. So like 16-14.
from grandma.
Okay.
And I said, well,
Candy
I'm going to
and
go
stuff.
back over to the house. She wanted to go back, so I say I go back,
Okay.
And I brought her. I literally walked over to here. Like literally walked right to here where I could see the boys and on the kitchen table.
Got him.
And I watched her walk in there. And afterwards, when she was already in there, I walked over and said, quiet. And he looked at me and I said, watch Sissy, I'll be right back. And that's when I walked back over to my mom's.
Okay.
And I was fixing her brace and stuff like that. And I said, well, Mom.
Fixing her brace and stuff like that. It's interesting. Not getting anything. The only thing that this can come up with is that, and stuff like that implies that there were other things being done, but they're left unnamed. The using quote and stuff like that often indicates avoidance, like the speaker doesn't want to say what else happened, or vagueness by design, like it's used to imply busyness or normalcy without offering specifics. Or it's narrative padding. It fills space when the speaker wants to seem cooperative but is holding something back. Or it could be time distortion, which suggests a longer or fuller period of activity that may have actually occurred. It creates the illusion of substance. But when pressed, there's no detail confirmed what stuff like that includes. So if you are considering the phrase, I was fixing my mom's knee brace and stuff like that, this suggests that you can't or won't name the other tasks, or that those tasks may be incriminating, or that they didn't happen at all. Let's see. Normal stuff. Normal stuff comes up again. A person who uses something like, normal stuff could be narrative signals, not memories. Karma says, could she only see Wyatt? Well, where was that one video where she said, and I asked Wyatt specifically? Like, she's like, I specifically, wasn't it Wyatt? Crap. The planting of the flowers, okay. The watch, okay. Going to the kitchen with her brothers. The next thing I know, I went over and fixed my mom's knee brace. Weird. Where was that? Where was that when she said that? Where was that at? Where she said she spoke specifically to Wyatt. When did that occur? Because my question was, why did she say, or why did she ask him and not the eldest? I wrote it down. Somewhere. I just don't remember where. Oh, it's in this video, but doesn't she do it again? Doesn't she do it somewhere else? I feel like I typed this up somewhere else.
I gotta go back over with the kids, and that's when I come back up into the house.
Okay.
With the boys.
Okay.
Okay.
You walked into the house.
Well, I walked into here.
I'm telling you, there's something about this right here. There's something.
And that's when I come back up into the house.
Okay.
With the boys.
Okay.
I come back up into the house with the boys. The house with the boys.
Okay.
Okay.
You walked into the house.
Well, I walked.
And we walked. I walked. And we walked. When I said this last time we talked about this, I said this, but I'm going to say it again. When I listened to that little exchange right there, what I hear,
Kids, and that's when I come back up into the house.
Okay.
With the boys.
that she goes back over to the house where the boys are. For whatever reason, she's omitted Summer. Right? I don't know why she didn't say, I came back over to the house where the kids were. And then it follows up. So for me, the only people that she's placing in the house are the boys. And then she proceeds to say, and then we went in, and then corrects herself. I don't know. The two things combined makes me feel a certain way. Individually, maybe not. But together, it's something in my brain going, there's something there.
Okay. Go back over with the kids, and that's when I come back up into the house.
Okay.
With the boys.
Okay.
Okay.
You walked into the house.
Well, I walked into here.
And we walked. I came back over to the house with the boys, and we walked in. We did it. Come back up from the camper.
And that's when I come back up into the house.
Okay.
With the boys.
Okay.
Okay.
You walked into the house.
Well, I walked into here.
I mean, why wouldn't she say she went back over to the house with the kids? Why does she exclude Summer from that? It's weird to me. Like I say, individually, I wouldn't have. Individually, it'd be like one thing. But when you put those two things together, she's like, I went over to the house with the boys, where the boys were. And then we went in. Well, the only people that aren't in the house are Grandma and Summer, according to this. Do you get where I'm going? It's the people aren't in the right place. Everybody is not in the right place. But then again, according to the math that I did, what was it? Math in the math. the likelihood that her story is accurate is 1 in 125 billion. 1 in 125 billion that it's that this story can be. How does it phrase it? This could not happen the way that it's been described. So the way that Candace describes her story, the probability of it happening is 1 in 125 billion. You're more likely to get, what did it say? You're more likely to get killed by an asteroid, statistically speaking. You're more likely to get hit twice by lightning, win the lottery.
Get up. Walked in here and them three were sitting right here in front with their eyes glued to the TV, like always. And I said, boys, where's your sister at? Well, she just went downstairs, Mom, to play. So I went over here like this, because this is where the stairs are.
Okay.
It's actually down under there.
Oh, down into her bedroom.
Our bedroom, and then hers is on the other side.
Tears Run Dry said, Grandma says, we woke up. That could go back to the whole discussion about we, though, that we had when we started today. We brought the groceries in. The boys helped with that. I don't hear her saying we. All I hear is her saying I did this and I did that.
Oh, okay, in the basement.
Yeah, in the basement.
Well, this makes sense now, see?
And then I yelled and I said, Summer, Summer. And she didn't, I listened for a minute, I didn't hear nothing. So I went like this, because this is how I always get down here.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if you want to come down here or not.
Do I got to be tiny to get in there?
No, you should
Can we come in from the other side?
Well, we can, but it'd make more sense if you went this way.
Okay, I'll follow you. Oh, man. Good grief,
No, I know
girl.
if my 6-foot husband can fit down here, you can.
Huh?
My husband's 6 foot. I know if he can fit, you can.
This. Oh, my gosh. Way to go.
This is my husband's room.
Okay.
And over here, well, it's a mess again.
That's all right.
But this is where Summer and little Waylon was, because Waylon's only 9.
Okay.
And they stayed down here. And these are all her toys, all her Paw Patrols,
All her movies. She's got a movie about the Savior.
The boys I brought back down here after she went missing because I didn't want them upstairs by themselves anymore.
Okay. And this is all her toys.
These are all her toys. All these toys that are down here are dang all hers, except for
This is the exact wording from when I ran the math. When I did the mathing, the probability that this abduction story happened as described is 1 in 125 billion. That's what it says.
for like the trucks and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the game system. That's the boys'.
Okay.
But them are all her toys.
And she's really into Paw Patrol. I see
Yeah,
that.
I've been collecting from day one. And these are all her little ponies that I've bought. And then these are them girls that she likes. Them new fashion, I don't know what they are, little princesses or whatever. She's like all kinds of, here's one of them bracelets.
Oh, that's just one of them what do they call these? Oh, this is little pony bracelets.
Yeah, I don't know what they were really called, but she liked them, and so I just, every time I go to the garage sale, I'd buy her what she wanted.
Okay.
You know, whenever I got a little bit of money, I spend it on the kids.
Yeah, this is her. This is, I understand her now.
Yeah.
Even better. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is really important.
But yeah, I come down and I searched. I looked up underneath the beds under there. We can't really get on. I can't get on there.
Yeah, yeah.
But I looked under there, looked under every blanket I could possibly look under.
Yep.
And then I come over here and I looked on one side and see nowhere. And I don't recall if this was locked or not. I don't recall that.
Okay.
I call BS on that. I will eternally call BS on that. You would absolutely 100 million trillion quadrillion % remember if that door was locked or not. Absolutely, you would remember that. And not only that, she's saying that without saying, she's indicating that the door was closed. Otherwise, you get what I mean? The way that she says it would indicate the door was closed. So if we had this abductor coming up and taking Summer from the basement, that means the abductor took an extra couple of seconds to quietly close the door so the boys didn't hear it, which then would make my probability wrong because the probability would be worse than 1 in 125 billion. Oh my God. You would absolutely know if that door was locked or not. If you're looking for your child and you're freaking out and you're panicking and she's not where she's supposed to be, and you go and you think that she's gone out that door, you're going to remember. You're going to remember if that thing is locked. You're going to. The way that she describes it would indicate the door is closed. And if the abductor comes up, takes her from the basement, like Dawn says, then the abductor took the time to quietly close the door before they left. Give me a break. Come on.
Okay.
But I know it's hard on me. But I know I did come out here and I said, Summer, because sometimes she'll sit right here and just sit here and play just for, you know. And usually when she comes out and she goes directly that way up to the swing.
Oh, okay. So this is like her.
Yeah, she
where
just
she
walks.
come running out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can see the path.
Oh, that's a good thought. Karma says, I swear she didn't go down, like on her own, that she sent one of the boys down. I could totally see that. I still have a situation. Why didn't she turn the TV down? Like mute it or something. If you're hollering down there and you're not getting a reply, you mute the TV. If you have enough detail you're going to tell me about washing hands and pieces of candy, surely you would include detail about the TV was loud, because that's a sensory thing. So we talk about this all the time, right? When there's trauma happening, person going through trauma remembers the sensory stuff, the smell, the sounds, the taste, the touch, something. And so you go in, you can't find your child. You're going to remember that the TV is loud. You're going to remember that the TV is loud. You're going to turn the TV off, or you're going to turn the volume down. You're going to continue to yell then, if that's what happened. I'm going to pull this back up while we continue on with her story.
Path here,
right to the swing.
right? You can see where she could have run right up to
and
here.
this is all the further she would go. She wouldn't leave.
Okay.
She wouldn't go nowhere else.
Okay. I want to go around this side. What is this blue thing here?
Oh, that was we were putting trash in it.
Okay.
And we did have a trash man at the time, but he stopped running.
Oh wow.
I gotta lock this.
Okay. I'm gonna film around this side. Now walk me through what's this little
oh, that right there?
Did you hear how loud that closed?
I gotta lock this.
Okay. I'm gonna film around this side. Now walk me through what's this
Come
little
on.
Oh, that right there?
little cave thing there.
That's not really a cave. Actually,
You see, like, this is a great example of my frustration with Chris McDonough. She's up to this pivotal point, right? She's up to the point in time in her story where this should be maximum panic and frustration, like top-notch frustration, panic, terror, and he redirects her to start talking about a hole underneath their house. Finish the story. She checks the door. She says she doesn't remember if it's locked. BS. And then she's like, sometimes she plays out here, but usually she runs around the house up to her swing. And then Chris McDonough interrupts and he's like, what's this over here? Instead of going the direction, literally, instead of going the direction that Candace is talking, they literally go the opposite way. Like, I mean, do you know what I mean? Why would you not continue the conversation that's happening here? What is the point of doing this?
we built this
Jeez.
addition, me and Donnie and the kids.
Oh, okay.
And we left this part open because the dog at the time we did have little puppies. These dogs were little puppies, and we let them go under there. They would run in and out of the bricks over there. There's actually 7 pups up under there now.
Okay.
And it's always been open like that.
I don't know why it's muted. That's weird.
Well, you can see after you've been here, you can see how mellow the dogs are.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right?
That's what they do. They're
And
lazy.
they're kind of a Jack Russell. They got a little Jack Russell in
Jack
them.
Russell, yeah. Actually, the gentleman that lives over there in the other trailer across the creek actually has the mama to that dog there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so irritating. It's so irritating.
It worked like over 14, 15 years ago, way before I was here. I literally actually rode in that bus when I was a little kid.
Whenever I see a school,
Me and my mom and Summer and the two boys, not Josie, he went north, but Wyatt and Waylon rode up to north to get that.
And then what? Hello? And then what? He stopped her story at the basement door too. What is it with the basement door? Why does everyone stop the story there? Like, there's way more to it than that. Oh my god. I don't remember if do they ever at any point start talking about this again?
From my mom's friend's house, and I drove a truck, and she drove the school bus back.
that's awesome. This is rough terrain. Let's go look at the. Tell me about this area over here.
This is just pretty much scrap metal, really.
Pretty. About these polygraph tests. Clear that up.
All right, the first one that I took, and I didn't really take it because they kind of threw me in the back of the squad car, so I was really upset, and just I was crying my eyes out.
Okay.
And so when I got up there to the courthouse, we tried to do it, but I couldn't do it.
Okay.
So we waited a few days, and then I went back and I did it, and I passed it.
Okay.
So that was that.
Okay. And then what about the rumors of this relationship situation?
I don't care about the rumors. I really don't give two shits about rumors about whoever and whoever else. All I care about is the story. That's all I want to know. So when Candace has the first interview, we have this and this and this and this and this, the end, and we stop at the basement door. We have her talking in another interview with Ernie. She's like this, and then omits like 80% of her story, and then stops it at going in the house. It stops there. We've got Grandma talking, and she stops it at going in the house. Don stops it at the door at the basement, although he's not supposed to have been there. What is it? What is the deal? What is the problem with the continuation of the story? If I were to offer my opinion on this, is that there's something that they don't want to talk about. That when they discovered that she was missing, that there's something wrong that they don't want to discuss. So they just stop. Because as long as they don't say anything, then they don't have to answer questions. That's my opinion. So we have, boy, this is a mess. This is a big mess. Ugh. I don't know how the best way to do this would be. I can see the problem is that I can type this out, right? But it's not going to be a continued fluid statement because he interrupts her all the time and redirects her, which is frustrating. But it would be interesting to do like a side-by-side comparison of Grandma's story and Candace's stories. I could color code them. That might be beneficial. I could type that up somehow. But it would have to be under the understanding that this particular one we're watching is not a fluid start and finish. I would omit all the things that Chris McDonough is talking, all of his talking about rumors and whatever else. It's pointless. I don't care about the rumors. I don't care about the shed. Whatever. I just want to know the story. I just want to know. I just want to know the basic story. All right, we'll go back. Let's see how much we got on this. What are we at right now? We're at 2:15. Oh, the script. There's like 6:10. Oh boy, there's a lot there. After Grandma, then the lead detective talks and the what's his face, the attorney guy talks. We should wait for that one. All right, so the plan, this is the plan that I am going to toss out there. We call it a day for today, at least for right now. And I'll type out this stuff and see if I can do like a side by side and compare it. And then the stuff that's coming up with the detective, I can type that out ahead of time. And that way you don't have to wait for me to do it. Because that's going to take some time to go through that stuff. That interview with what's his name? The district attorney guy, what's his name? Is very telling. We talked about that. I think it was the first part 1 of this. We talked about how his minimization of the Amber Alert occurs, how he's very casual, like nonchalant. He removes the urgency behind this. That whole thing. That would take us at least an hour to talk about that. Dan Armstrong, that's right. Does that sound like a plan? Because if so, that's what we'll do. You want me to run the loop? We got a lot done today. Sorry that it messed up at the beginning. I'm glad we were able to finish this. Stupid YouTube. All right. Let me throw this in here. Let me take this off the screen. I'm going to take this off the screen too. Get it out of the way. There we go. And where are you? There you are. All right, here we go. I love you guys. I'll talk to you real soon.
Why is it doing that? What is
It's lightning, baby.
oh.
Let's not forget why we're here. Summer Wells, she's the one that brought us all together. I know all of you because of her. We won't stop searching. We won't give up. We're going to keep on going. I think we're all on a mission. So please be kind to one another because you never know. No one is immune from tragedy, no matter who you are. So just remember, what do you want your legacy to be when you leave this life? I love all of you, and I'm so glad you guys are here.
Whatever it is, Brandon, that, whatever reason why you possibly wanted to leave, I wish you just at least let us know that you're okay, because we're horribly worried about you. This is all, anything you might be feeling, feelings are temporary and fleeting like the wind, right? You feel it go by you, but you are not your feelings.
I promised my husband and daughter that I would do everything in my power to get them justice, and it's just what I have to do.
hope everybody having a good day. Hope everybody accomplished something significant. Even if you didn't accomplish anything significant, don't be discouraged. Just aim to accomplish something significant tomorrow and the next day, and so on. If anybody's going through anything, I hope and I pray that you get through it, and just know that you do have the strength to get through whatever the fuck you're going through, no matter what it is.